Hello again. So this time I am on page 201, and this is a short video to review the order of adjectives. Why do we say the little brown house in English and not the brown little house? Why do we place our adjectives in a specific order? Well, because there's a specific order of how we need to organize our adjectives if we have two or more adjectives. The table here gives you exactly the order of adjectives. In a sentence with many adjectives, like this first example, you will always put the possessive or demonstrative adjective, which is my, their, his, that, this. We will see possessive and demonstrative adjectives later on. You always put the order or their quantity next. And then everything that is descriptive has a specific order. So quality comes first, then size, then shape, then age, color, material, and then finally the noun. Because if you remember from the last lesson, the adjectives always come before the noun. How do you know where to put your adjectives? You either memorize these categories in order or you practice them so much that eventually it comes naturally. As a speaker of English, you guys will know when it sounds a little bit weird. And when I said the brown little house, you probably already knew. No, we say the little brown house, and you knew the order already. The more you practice, the more you will know. So you can practice trying to create sentences and adding different types of adjectives and placing them in the correct order. Another good way to study is to go online and type order of adjective, so these here, plus exercises, and you will find lots of exercises where you'll need to go around and place the adjectives in order, and that will help you to study. Practicing is always the best way to study, to actually do it. Now, the other important part is at the bottom of the page here, and it talks a little bit more about punctuation. Do we put a comma or not when we have all of these adjectives? If I take this last column, how am I going to put my commas? I have this big, old, gray elephant. Do I put a comma or not? So let's read what it says together. Use a comma if the adjectives are equally important and give a similar type of information. So they give the same type of information. So if we have Mr. Randall is a talented, respected teacher. We use the comma because talented and respected are similar. They go together. They're information that go together. They're both positive aspects of a teacher. So we don't use a comma if the adjectives are not equally important or they give different types of information. We have Mr. Randall is a funny young teacher. So we don't have a comma in between funny and young because there are two words that are completely different. So we don't put a comma. Here's the trick. When do I use a comma? When don't I use a comma? Try this. Try to use the word end. If the word end actually sounds a little bit weird, you probably only need the comma. So let's try that. To verify if adjectives give a similar type of information or not, use end between the adjective. We have Mr. Randall is a talented and respected teacher. So it works. I actually need to replace my end with a comma. If I tried the second one, it sounds a little bit weird. Mr. Randall is a funny and young teacher. It's different type of information. I don't need a comma. So that's how you know when to use it. You probably already know this by heart. Another important information was in the middle of the page. It says note. A proper sentence should have no more than 2 or 3 adjectives in a series. Don't try to add extra words to your text by adding 6 adjectives before your nouns. It makes your text sound a little bit silly. Again, if you want to practice, a good way is to use maybe the keywords comma, adjectives, and exercises. And you'll find exercises online to practice your punctuations with